Good morning. I wonder if maybe you've noticed this week that the Bible usually reminds us who we are and what we have before it tells us what to do. It's been a constant thread I've been noticing. Yesterday, we talked about Jesus saying there's one thing worth being concerned about. Today, Paul writes these beautiful words in Philippians chapter 2. But before he ever says don't be selfish or take an interest in others, he asks a series of questions. Is there any encouragement from belonging to Christ? Any comfort from his love? Any fellowship together in the Spirit? Are your hearts tender and compassionate? Think about that. Paul doesn't start with a command. He starts with a reminder, as if he's saying, before we talk about how you treat people, remember what you've already received through Jesus. Because hearts that have been encouraged and comforted and loved and shown compassion, well, those hearts have room and even eagerness to give those same things to others. And I love that. This morning, before the schedule fills up, before the emails, before the responsibilities, take just a moment to remember what Christ has already given you. Because a heart that's full of Him always has room for someone else.
I just think, honestly, that being kind to others makes your life better. If you are kind to others, there's a great possibility that they are kind to you, and that makes everybody happier. If you share a smile to someone else, there's a great possibility they'll smile back at you, and that makes everybody happier. Like, the greatest investment of time is being kind. It makes everything better. I think it's really simple, and I honestly don't think it's that hard.
Thank you so much for hanging out here on the podcast. I wanted to give you a heads up on a few things. First, today's show is brought to you from a live radio show. So that means you're probably going to hear me pitch to some music. And you know what? That's okay, because you can find that music in the description today. I've got it two ways, in a Spotify playlist and in a separate song list. The reason why is because legally I can't play the music on the podcast. It's copyright, all kinds of red tape. So yeah, a lot of trouble. So I still made a way for you to enjoy the music. Please take advantage of that. Plus, since we are live, I would love for you to come and join me live sometime. And the way to do that is any weekday morning between 6 and 10 Central Time. Go to 885jfm.com, click that On Now button, and press play. That's how you can hang out with me. And we can have some fun. I'm always giving the cue to call, text, and email, trying to interact with you, maybe send some GIFs. And if you listen to the family edition of the show today, you're going to hear a lot of that. In fact, maybe you didn't know, there's another version of the show. It's a bigger, more expanded version that has the shout outs and some extra features that we don't put on the focused version of the show. And the only way to find that is by following the link in today's description. Just look for Family Edition. You'll find the episode link and a playlist link. Click either one of those and you can find it. Okay? All right. Now, I've got some more updates, some more heads up things for you at the end of the show, so make sure to listen to those as well. But for now, let's get back to it. I'm so glad you're here. Hope you're having a great day so far. So I thought maybe I would share a little bit of a story here to inspire some people, because if we're being honest, sometimes we don't feel like we quite measure up to the standard everybody else sets. It's like maybe we don't talk that well, or maybe we just don't get a subject that well, and so we feel like we're less than. But I'm here to tell you that is simply not the case. You want some proof? Okay, here, take a listen to this. I think it's gonna make your day.
A little boy went to school one day, true story. I'll give you his name in a minute. And the teacher said, I want you to sign on a piece of paper what you want to do when you grow up. And this boy stuttered real bad. If you asked him his name, he would stutter before he could say his name. So all the kids took the piece of paper and they wrote what they wanted to be when they grew up. And the teacher said, I want everybody now stand up and tell the class what you want to be when you grow up. And one stood up and said, I want to be a doctor and a fireman and a nurse. Another one said, I want to be an accountant. Another one said, I want to be a gambler like my dad. Another one said, I want to be an anesthesiologist. The gambler stood up, I'm laying 10-1. He can't spell anesthesiologist. So everybody in the room's telling everybody what they want to be when they grow up. And they got to this little boy and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, I want to be on TV. And the whole class broke out laughing. You want to be on TV? You can't even say your name. What do you mean you want to be on TV? And a letter was sent to his mother that day by the teacher and said, your son has lost his mind. He stutters, he cannot even say his name, but yet he declares that when he grows up, he wants to be on TV. The mother sat him down and said, son, you can't even say your name without stuttering. There is no possible way you could ever be on television. Look at the handicaps that you have. Go up to your room. And he went up to his room, and later his dad come home and he heard his mom and dad talking about the conversation. The dad came upstairs and sat on the bed with him and said, son, what did you put on that note today that you gave to the teacher? He said, I want to be on TV when I grow up. He said, son, but you stutter. But you really want to be on TV? He said, yes, sir, I want to be on TV. He said, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to take that note, put it in the top drawer of your dresser. And every day when you get up to go to school, I want you to pull that note out and read it out loud. I want to be on TV. I want to be on TV. I want to be on TV. And everybody laughed at him and they said, you stuttered, you'll never amount to anything. But today while I'm preaching, he's worth $200 million. He's on television 7 days a week. His name is Steve Harvey. And did you know what Steve Harvey did? This is classic. I love this guy for this reason I'm referred to. After he got on television, now I don't care where you go, you're gonna find Steve Harvey. He's doing comedy or some kind of show, he's doing something. But you know what I loved about him? That teacher that laughed at him that day, till the year she died, he sent her a brand new flat screen television every year of his life. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Thank God, quit using excuses. Quit saying I can't do this and I'll never get here and I could never be a businessman and I could never make money and I could never own a home and I could never have a car. You're never going to get ahead saying like that. Here's what I say. There's a God that can do exceedingly abundantly above anything that I ask or think. And I not only want his blessing, I want his favor.
Can I share something with you that I noticed last night? Sometimes the chapter numbers in our Bible can make us think a brand new thought is starting, but what if that's not always the case? Yeah. I was studying Philippians, getting ready for today's word of life, and I noticed something. Chapter 1 ends with Paul talking about suffering. He tells the believers, you've been given not only the privilege of trusting in Christ, but also the privilege of suffering for him. Then he says, we're in this struggle together. I love that Paul doesn't pretend life is easy. He's in prison as he writes this letter. The church is facing pressure. The struggle is real. But then chapter 2 begins, and it's almost as if Paul says, now let me remind you what hasn't changed. Is there any encouragement from belonging to Christ? Any comfort from his love? Any fellowship together in the Spirit? Are your hearts tender and compassionate? Do you hear what he's doing? He doesn't ignore the suffering. He reminds them that suffering isn't the only reality. And only after reminding them of all they've already received through Christ does Paul say these words, today's word of life. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. Wow. That changes things. He's not asking exhausted people to try harder. He's reminding them that hearts filled with Christ's encouragement have room for everyone. For somebody else. Because you see, pressure naturally turns our attention inward. Christ gently turns it outward again. And that's a takeaway I want to leave you with right now. Because yes, the suffering is real. And back then, during those days, we're talking about some major persecution. I'm thankful we live in a country where we don't undergo that on a daily basis. People might think less of us, or they might try to put us in a box because they know we're Christians. But We're not suffering physical harm. We're not being put in jail, things like that. But still, it comes in its own different ways. But look at all that we have because of Christ. You see, when you remember what you have and who you are, it helps you move forward. And the very things that you've received, you want others to receive as well. So you share the good news. That's why we do it. You want to share good news. And hey, it's a part of why we're here. So I just wanted to remind you of it. Thanks for hanging out with me right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, Jaywalkers Worship. In the name of Jesus.
This is Pastor Larry Walls with your Drive Time Devotion. One cold winter Sunday night, a youth pastor was driving two young women to a church youth group celebration when they came upon a multiple car accident. They were unable to stop on the slick, icy road before they slammed into the back of another car. One of the girls, named Donna, was thrown face first through the windshield. The jagged edges of the broken windshield made two very deep gashes in her left cheek. At the hospital, the doctor on duty happened to be a plastic surgeon. He took good care in stitching Donna's face. Nevertheless, the driver was devastated by what had happened and dreaded visiting Donna the next day. He expected to find her sad and depressed, but instead he found her happy and bright, asking many questions of the doctors and nurses. A nurse confided to the young man that all the nurses were really making excuses just to go into Donna's room. They called her a ray of sunshine. She refused to let the accident destroy any of her joy. The youth pastor moved to another city shortly thereafter, and he lost touch with the family for 15 years. When he saw Donna's mother again, he fearfully asked how Donna was doing. Her mother told him that Donna had been so intrigued by her hospital stay that she became a nurse, got a good job at a hospital, met a good young doctor, married him, and then had 2 children. The mother told him also that Donna told her to tell him, if she ever saw him, that the accident was the best thing that could ever happen to her. Did you know that we have the freedom to choose our attitude in any and every circumstance of life? We can choose to let trouble leave us depressed and weak, or we can choose to be happy and strong in spite of all of our trials. When we choose to have joy, our worst moments can be turned into the greatest triumphs in our life. The psalmist in Psalm 16:11 says, "In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore." Happiness really is the result of circumstances, but joy endures in spite of all other circumstances. Pray with me. Father, help us to be happy in you and have that joy that passes all understanding, because we'll never, ever really understand it. For it's in Jesus' name, amen.
So I've thought about making this video for a while, but I always decided not to, so please bear with me. But there's this phrase I've come across a few times, and every time I see it, it punches me in the gut. When you're a good swimmer, people don't know you're drowning. And if I'm being really honest with you and myself, I think I've felt that way for longer than I'd like to admit. Because I've gotten really good at looking okay. I still smile when I'm exhausted. I try not to stop being optimistic and encouraging for other people. I usually look like I've got it all under control, you know? And after a while, you almost convince yourself that you do. You start thinking, well, I'm still showing up, I'm still laughing, I'm still moving, so I'm fine. But in reality, you're not swimming. You're just treading water, keeping your head just slightly above the surface so people can't see the struggle going on underneath. And I don't say that because I'm asking anyone to feel sorry for me. Please, that is the last thing that I want you to get out of this. But I say it because I wonder how many people walk around carrying things nobody knows about simply because they've gotten really good at carrying them. I don't know. I'm not sure I actually have a real point, but I just hear that phrase, and for whatever reason, it felt like putting words to something I've never really known how to explain. And I imagine if I feel that way, a lot of other people do too. So I guess more than anything else, just know you're not alone.
I know he has a real point, because there are a lot of people who are juggling life, responsibilities, pressure that people just don't understand. Don't understand how hard it is. Well, that lines up so well with today's word of life. because there's a little phrase in here that I think we all need to hear. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. You see, because we have received all that we have, we're at a point now that we can include others. Because I want to remind you what's said before this verse even comes out, this word of life. Is there any encouragement from belonging to Christ? Any comfort from His love? Any fellowship together in the Spirit? Are your hearts tender and compassionate? Then make me truly happy by agreeing wholeheartedly with each other, loving one another, and working together with one mind and purpose. And then he goes into, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. You must have the same attitude that Christ Jesus had. That's powerful. So, looking out for the interests of others means noticing. Noticing when somebody is struggling and coming alongside them to help them move forward. I bet somebody's done that for you before. And for you to do that for somebody else, it's like full circle, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to encourage you. Please, let's look out for each other. Let's take the time needed to learn more about each other, and let's come alongside and help support each other. As we do, I can tell you one thing. The anchor, it's going to hold. Hey, there's a song about that, isn't there? Yeah, it's by Ray Boltz. Here it is. Yesterday, we did boot camp with my little girl, and she is now in middle school. So yesterday at noon, they had us come over to the school, and we got to find out her schedule. And we got to walk the halls and find her classroom, and we got to do all the things, and we got prepared. But the thing is, we got there at 12. We had not eaten lunch. So we got there, we got done, and we're like, okay, we got to eat something. We were like super hungry. So we decided to try out that new place in Arab, Matza Pizza. Let me tell you, that place is fire. Really good stuff. My little girl, she's looking at the menu. She's like, I want this. And we're looking at it, and we're like, how about let's just get a pizza? You know, that seems to be kind of the safe bet here. So I'm thinking, okay, usually you have a small, medium, and a large. The large looks like it's a 20-inch pizza, so let's get a 20-inch. I did not know how big a 20-inch pizza was. And my little girl, well, she decided that we needed to get a lasagna pizza. So that's exactly what we did. And let me tell you, it was really good. Really good. We got some salads to go with it. Grace got some garlic bread to go with it. So it was good. You got to fuel yourself. And so she was already thinking about that last night. As we got home after drama practice from church, she's like, okay, I want to fix my lunch for tomorrow. Usually she eats at the cafeteria, but she wanted to bring her own. So, okay. Cassie's like, okay, you want to do that? You can fix it yourself. So she did. She got in there and she got all the things. The blueberries, I think she might have got some strawberries in there. She got some yogurt, and she got, what else? All kinds of good stuff. Some sliced banana. And then on top of that, she brought a protein bar with her, and so a bag of chips. And so she's going to be fine when it comes to food. She's not going to go hungry by any stretch of the imagination, right? It's interesting, though, to see what kids will fix for their lunch. And she was pretty safe last night, right? She could have taken a huge slice of that matzo pizza, but she didn't. She took some healthier stuff, so that's nice and makes you kind of feel good as a parent. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right. But it is kind of cute when they start packing your lunch and to find out what they're going to give you, especially when they're a little younger, because you never know what they might decide you need to eat. Well, don't let it just stop at, food for lunch. Let's talk about some medication. Has your kid ever given you medication before? Listen to this little scenario.
Ready to leave for lunch?
Hold on, gotta take my medication first. Wow, got a lot today. My doctor is very strict. Let's see, these are my coolness pills. This one keeps me strong. I have 3 smile makers and 2 for fast running.
Those are gummy bears and M&Ms.
Just because my kid isn't a real doctor doesn't mean they can't make me feel good.
Yeah, they can make you feel good for sure. Just the fact that your kid put together some stuff for you, I mean, that just makes your heart happy anyway. But come on, to make it fun like that, some M&Ms, some gummy bears, hey, here's your medicine. Okay, I'll gladly accept. Giving us parents a reason to eat some candy. I'm here for it. How about you? Yeah?
To the parent sending their baby to kindergarten this fall, you've packed the backpack, you've written their name on all the things, you've got the perfect pencils and markers, tissues and paper. You're ready. They're ready. But still your heart is aching just a bit, because how can it be? Wasn't it just yesterday those chubby little fingers were gripping yours? Now those same fingers are opening doors, turning pages in books and getting ready to let go of your hand. Your baby is ready to start school. You are proud and grateful. You're excited, but wow, this is harder than you thought. Because this is the beginning of something beautiful, not just for your kindergartner, but for you too. There will be new routines, new friendships, new growth, and yes, maybe a few more tears for both of you. But there will also be pride, because it is so wonderful to watch them shine. They're ready because you've built the foundation. You've prepared them for this moment. They can do this. You can too. So take the picture, give the extra hug, and watch them fly.
Okay, so it's not Friday, so you can't call this a wrap-up, but we can call this a summary of the journey thus far. And it has been one journey. As we wrap up the show today, I've been thinking about something. This week may have been brought together by 4 separate Bible passages or words of life, but it's felt like one conversation, hasn't it? Let me show you how. Monday, David invited God to search his heart because he trusted the God who already knew him completely, right? Tuesday, Solomon reminded us to guard our hearts because what shapes our hearts eventually shapes our lives. That's important. Wednesday, Jesus gently redirected Martha, who was stressing out about details that she was distracted by, to the fact that Mary found the one thing worth being concerned about. And we saw that if we get the one thing he's talking about, that he, the one thing, gives every other thing its proper place, right? So we talked about a divided heart and how to stay focused and put Jesus at the center. Oh, that's what we're doing today as well. Today, Paul tells us that once Christ is at the center of our hearts, there is finally room for someone else. Do you see the journey? God knows your heart. Through Christ and your participation, God shapes your heart. Christ becomes the center of your heart, and then your heart begins making room for others. What a transformation from the inside out. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a journey worth staying on. So we'll continue it tomorrow. Until then, remember, you are loved, you are prayed for, and you don't have to do life alone. Thank you for hanging out with me right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Now, I want to let you know that today's show will be in podcast form at noon on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube Podcast. All you have to do is go there and type in Lifeline Morning Show Podcast. When you're there, go ahead, share it with a friend, and subscribe if you enjoy what you hear. Plus, look in the description. If you don't, you're going to miss some stuff because I've put together a few things. You're going to find a Spotify music playlist and a separate song list so you can still enjoy the music when you're out and about. Plus, look for the family edition of the show. It's only found by the links there in the description. That's the expanded version. More of the behind the scenes, the shout outs, the music talk. Oh, it's so much fun. Plus, look for the question of the day. Answer that for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. I will see you back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show.